Our Farms of the Future program is a pilot program where we're going to trial some new technology to give data, real-time data to farmers so they can make the right decision in a timely manner. This is part of the New South Wales Government's commitment, $400 million digital connectivity program underpinned by the $4.2 billion Snowy Hydro Fund. This is about making sure primary industries agriculture continues to be the backbone of regional economies.
Hi, my name is Brian Ditchfield. I run a mixed farming enterprise with sheep, cattle and a little bit of fodder cropping southeast of Coonamble towards the Warrumbungle Mountains. Some of the technologies we've put on through the program include tank level sensors, trough level sensors, bore level sensors, also cattle tracking, cattle weighing in paddock, video surveillance, Wi-Fi across the property, rain gauges, soil moisture monitors. This is a porosity moisture probe. It measures how much moisture is in the soil down to a depth of 1.8 metres. So there's not a lot to look at here, but it's doing its job and it's more a long-term thing, getting the data from it. So we'll see how it goes as it dries out. We're getting a lot of data into the dashboard, and in the future, hopefully, we'll be able to look at records on what, not only what rainfall we've had, which is what everyone's kept previously, but we can look at temperature, we can look at predominant wind directions for if we want to spraying at certain times, and what the soil moisture is doing. So over a long term, we'll be able to look what it sort of builds up, what we can, extrapolate from that data. Some of the benefits I've seen from the technology include not having to travel to the other property, which is 50 kilometres away, to check water as often, which is a big cost saving. Being able to see how much rain we've had at various locations on each property. Being able to see in real time, day to day, how much weight cattle are putting on. This side panel is adjustable for the side if you've got smaller cattle using it, so that you don't get two going in at once. That has changed on the newer design, I did notice the other day. He's got a panel in either side. But yeah, this is basically it. They just walk on there, step on there with the front 2 feet while they're licking at the whatever lick block you put in there, and you get the weight. Somehow it works out the weight. I'd be happy to recommend to farmers to look at some of this stuff and invest in some of this connectivity to help you manage your places better and see what's going on.
So we are Rob and Susanna Tuck Ag is our company. We farm 10 farms in the Macquarie Valley in a 40k radius. We grow a mixed cropping broadacre irrigation setup with livestock enterprise as well. So we're very mixed, very diversified. So the Farms of the Future program has been pretty important for us. We spend a lot of time checking things, checking pumps, tanks, monitors on weather stations, rain gauges, whatever else. So for us, connectivity is highly important. The Wi-Fi connectivity has been fantastic for our program. But the main benefit has been travel, as in we commute between 10 farms, monitoring all different sorts of applications. So the time saving has been huge for us. Time saving, fuel saving, vehicle saving, safety saving. Just not putting guys on roads in the middle of the night to check remote pump stations. This particular pump station here is based on one of our cotton farms. It's a pretty integral part of the farm. It monitors and pumps all the water that runs off our tail water return system. So we want to capture all our irrigation water we don't use. It runs off. We don't want to waste any into the environment, or it could have fertiliser, could have anything. So we want to capture all that water. It's very important. So this pump station here, brand new, hasn't got a shed on it just yet, but it's in the pipeline. It's monitored through the connectivity program, and we're sensing these pumps to make sure that they are still running when we start them, they don't shut down, and to see what this water level is doing behind us. So we know if this water level fills up too full, we need to rev the pumps up or down so we can keep that water away, keep it within a closed system into that reservoir there, so it can be ready for reuse. Overhead irrigation, we've converted a lot of our flood irrigation to overhead irrigation, pressurised systems. We're seeing a consistent 30% water saving. And the other advantage is it gives us connectivity with our irrigation operation. So where we were using just good old manual flood furrow with siphons, we've gone to machines, which gives us electricity, which gives us monitors, a lot more connectivity. We can connect telemetry, whatever. So these machines can talk to us as they're irrigating. They can give us replies if they stop or something goes wrong. And we can also log all the data they put on, so that gives us a lot better records at the end of the season of how much water we've applied and things like that. So pretty efficient. Yeah, great machine. 30% water savings has been a huge advantage to us in our industry. Monitoring is very important. You know, these machines don't pull up when you go to bed, and when you knock off, they keep going, so they're going 24/7. So we need to be able to monitor them, seeing what they're doing, and be able to do it from your kitchen table while you're having a bit of quality time with your wife and family.
This is about actually empowering our farmers with the data, real-time data, so that they can actually measure their resources, measure their business in a way they've never done before, and make those decisions in a timely manner. And if we do that, we know that we'll get better business outcomes.
So Farm of the Future program, connectivity program's been a highlight over the last 12 months. We've come away a lot smarter, we've come away a lot better in what we do, and we're making more informed decisions.
My name's James Crossing. We're here at Angalong Vineyard. Angalong's our family property that we run a wine grape vineyard and also a cattle grazing operation. We've been involved in the Farms of the Future pilot project for a bit over 12 months now. I think the biggest labour saving is with our checking water infrastructure. So at a glance we can check the tank levels and the trough levels without actually having to go out in the field and check them. Obviously river flow is critical for us, particularly in these dry times when the river flow may be a bit low to keep up with the pumps. As you can see, it's a 4k drive to get down to the river, so it's quite an ordeal to get down there. It's very steep, so you've got to do it in a 4-wheel drive. And if we're getting some wet weather, then that's a bit difficult too, as it's not really a all-weather road. Big advantage of the connectivity is we have Wi-Fi coverage now all the way to the river. So we have a river pump to fill our irrigation dams from. So obviously being able to do that remotely is a big labour saving and just a big time saving, and also the peace of mind and knowing that all this expensive infrastructure is running properly. Over our Wi-Fi network we've got cameras, so through those cameras we can monitor the river level. We've got a camera at the cattle yards, so we can monitor the water troughs that are close to the yard. I've learned a fair bit about technology in this pilot program. It's been a pretty steep learning curve. So we've sort of been involved from selecting the technology right through the installation process and then using it. Another benefit we're seeing with the technology is also peace of mind. Knowing that stock have got adequate water. If you can put that to rest in your mind, then you've got plenty of time to be concentrating on other things, other more important things.
Over the last few years, as the Minister responsible in working with the federal government on their mobile black spot program, what we saw was the big telcos were getting a lot of the funding, and rightly so. They were building the big infrastructure and sort of filling the gaps across the board, but not predominantly at a localised level, more at a network level. And we saw that, and we've seen hundreds of millions of dollars from the federal government invested, something like 60 or 70 million from the state. But what we have in that time found that there are a lot of other players in the market, small technology companies, especially around Wi-Fi, that are able to deliver solutions at a local level. That's why a couple of years ago I said to the agency, happy always to look at the big telcos, but I want to find those small players that can actually make a difference on the ground, and that's what we're seeing today. Yeah,
most farmers these days rely on their mobile phone and their internet coverage, so having this Wi-Fi network across the property is proving valuable for us, so I would recommend that to other people if you've got any issues with your connectivity. This technology will definitely help.